I just had a very interesting conversation today. We're creating a brand new website this time for somebody that doesn't have an existing property. And the question was, what do you do to make sure people see the site? Which is really interesting because making sure people see the site is marketing, not branding. And it's a really good question, which is why we started adding some marketing to our packages, because we can create the most beautiful website in the world. Sorry about the camera moving around here. Hi, Laura. How are you? Okay, there. See if my camera doesn't roll around. We can make the most beautiful site in the world. That doesn't mean anybody's going to see it. That was my point. This is my new mug. I love it. It says Homebody. Did you have questions? Do you want to leave them in the comment box? Otherwise, I had a couple of interesting things happen today. That one, so what do you do to make people see my website? Because all we do is like make the website. We don't actually bring people to it. The other thing I saw today, which is so interesting, is this website gets, I think, close to 1 million hits. I'm not actually sure the hits that they get, but it's up there. It's several 100,000 and a month. And the site itself looks like one of those ones that we all had in like 2010, where it was like that page with like a background, and then like a page with rounded corners and like a banner, and then like the little navigation. And it was just so really old looking, but also it hasn't affected their traffic, which is such an interesting, like, it's so funny because all the time I learn these things in books and I see it happen. And then it's fun when there is proof of the theories. How is that possible? Yeah, you and I have to talk about that, because a beautiful website does not, like, Facebook is a little better now, but it's not a gorgeous website. Like, it's ugh. And same with a lot of classified sites, YouTube. There's lots of sites. Most news sites aren't pretty. As long as you can find what you want and you can read the information and you can get around, that's what everybody wants. I used to talk when everybody knew what Craigslist was. Do you even know what Craigslist is, Laura? Were you around? Twitter? Exactly. Not very pretty. And yet it works for what we use it for. So a pretty, you know what a pretty website is you do know Craigslist, right? That was the example I used for many, many years of a site that totally works and is totally ugly. Okay, I'm just going to move my camera a little bit because it's like facing up. I wish, okay, that's a little bit better. I used to use that example, Craigslist, because it is awful. It's awful. But it works. People use it all the time. There's a few things that a pretty website is good for. It's branding. Mostly it's branding. But branding is so much more than just the colors and the fonts. It has to be the overall look. And also, especially for bloggers, when you have a certain aesthetic in your photos and you're also talking about design, then you want your site to reflect you a little bit. It's almost like a storefront. Whereas if you and I had a store, we would decorate the windows and the shelves and everything would be pretty. And that's kind of what everybody feels like they want their website to look like. But in reality, I think branding is not branding. The website should be one of the lower things on the budget list. Like if you have $2,000, getting more people to your website, in my opinion, would be a better use of that budget than a new theme. Now, the thing, when I do create new themes, it's when the site has gotten to the point where it's got lots of traffic. And then all this, like not all of a sudden, but it grows, you're getting traffic. And then the bounce rate starts to go up. More people are just kind of leaving. They're not moving on to other pages, or you're going ahead on mobile normally, and then all of a sudden mobile starts to taper off, even though your audience is still the same audience. So why are they not using mobile? Like, is something wrong with the mobile experience? And or if they're not coming from newsletters, if you're not being able to grow your community inside of your website, if you're in Facebook or TikTok or some other place, then I think a refocus on the primary goal of the website, which is the call to action bottom of the funnel. So if your sales funnel is social media at the top, disrupting and getting into people's view and getting into their feed and saying hi, and then inviting them, and then they can get to know you, and you do the middle of the funnel stuff, which is normally about nurturing and building relationships and getting to the point where people can trust you. They know you enough to trust you. Then the bottom of the funnel is where you ask them to take action. And the website is usually where we ask people to take action. So we want them to sign up for our email. We want them to email us, join a program, or join our community. Sometimes it's join our community on Facebook or something, but when you start to notice problems, that's when you redo your website. In my opinion, it's not the best time to redo your website if you're struggling to get traffic. If you're struggling to get traffic, there are things you can do, but building a new website is not one of them. It's like not having a renter. That's probably not a good example. Well, okay, so let's say there's 1 million rental units in my community, and I can't get somebody to rent my unit, so I paint it. Like, what does that do? That doesn't actually help anybody see your unit. It just makes it prettier. When somebody does see it, it makes it prettier. Maybe they're more likely to rent it once they see it. But if you're not having anybody come, making it prettier doesn't change anything. It doesn't actually get more people to come. And so that's why if you're struggling with traffic, I do not recommend a new theme. And I don't know why, but everybody seems to think that's what they need. If you're struggling, you should get a prettier website. And it's really the last answer. You know what's the right answer? And nobody likes to hear this. I don't like to hear this. I actually have a business mentor that I ask, because as soon as I see something exciting, like a few months ago, it was Instagram. Last summer, when the Reels came out and they were like going crazy, I wanted to learn how to do them. I wanted to buy the course. I wanted to do all of these things. But I have to go and ask him, like, am I getting sidetracked? Like the shiny something syndrome, That's a good question, Laura. I'll answer that in just a second. And so what I ask him is if I'm getting distracted, because the real work is hard and I don't like doing it. So if there's something fun and sexy I can do, like learning video or going to a conference or anything that is just different and not mundane and boring, because you know what growing a website is? Boring. Like marketing, the most effective marketing that you will ever do is not very sexy. It's networking. Like that is the answer. The answer. Until you get regular traffic where people are getting through your funnel, they're taking a call to action, they are loving what you're putting out, and then they start telling their friends. That's when you start getting, you can build on itself, and the traffic starts building on itself because you have more people recommending you, and it becomes like an exponential growth. Until you have that happen, you have to go to Facebook groups, Twitter meetings, conferences, blogging conferences and events. You have to go and meet people, and they have to like you, and they have to go and be interested in what you're doing, or you speak, or you guest post, but it is not about going to Instagram and posting something and walking away. If you don't go and make friends, nobody cares about you posting. And this is so not fun advice. Like this is where almost every single person I've ever met falls down, because this is not fun. It's not the fun part. At least for me, it's not. The networking. I would much rather take a course and learn something fun. And they promise the moon, which is so tempting. Like when you're struggling to get traffic and you go onto a sales page, and if they've done it right, they've empathized with you right at the top. Like, I feel your pain. You are putting out your best stuff, your amazing content, and nobody is seeing it. Like, I feel you are in the right place. And you like this person right away because they get it. And then we just know a lot about a person's psychology. So we end up talking about the life that you will have after you have purchased their solution. That is a sales page. Here, I empathize with you. You are in the right place. You are my people. I feel you. And then, you know what it would be like if you actually did get traffic? Like, you know how fabulous it would be? You know how much of a relief it would be? You know how much time you could spend with your family? Like, none of this has anything to do at all with the course. Like, did you notice that? Nothing in a sales page really has to do with the course. It has to do with you, connecting with you, and getting to the point where your problem, you believe they have the solution. Then they take you from here's about this solution and here's how it's going to meet your problem. Then they show you all of the testimonials to say, see, I told you. Like, and it's nothing. Like, if this solves all of your traffic woes and you get triple what you have now to your website every month, it would be almost priceless. Like, you would pay anything for that class if that was really true. And so then they prove it to you that it's true. And then they talk about some other bonuses. So by this time you're like, take my money. And then at the end, if they've done it right, they have more testimonials about how this is life-changing for this person. It's a sales page. And I totally fell for this sales page. I fell for it. I talked about it on TikTok last week. And I bought the Instagram, not just Reels class, an Instagram class. And I paid almost $1,000 for it because I believed in the person who was creating it. They were a really solid brand. It had been around for a long, long time. They had tons of good testimonials. Anyway, for all of the reasons, I bought it. It has no solution for me. My clients don't come from Instagram. and yet it would be so nice if it was true. And then the guarantee is there too. So if it doesn't work, I can get my money back. But you know what you have to do? You have to go through and put everything that they've said into practice and then say it doesn't work, which is totally fair. I can't say the program doesn't work if I don't do everything they've suggested. The problem is with this particular program, they were suggesting follow pods like for like, doing cold calling for influencers and hitting them up to support your business for free. Like, it's not something I would ever ask of an influencer. And did you just call me a sucker, Laura? I am. I totally bought it. Oh, it makes a good story though. Like, even though I write these sales pages, like I know what it is to write a sales page. I'm still a person and it still works. It works because psychologically that is what we're looking for. And it would just be so nice. It would be so nice if somebody could just teach me a course and in a month I could start doing it perfectly. And then people would just start flocking to me because it's so fabulous. My business is just amazing. That's not the way it works. And this has been my message for years and years and years. Laura, I'm not offended. I think it's hilarious that you called me a sucker. I am. I totally bought it. It's one of those, it makes for a good story for don't do what I did. Yeah, I'm not. Thank you very much. Wouldn't it suck to have the name Karen right now? Like, how did a person's name become such a negative thing? It'd be awful. So back to the, I guess the whole point is that it's hard work. But there was something that I saw last week I really wanted to tell you guys. I haven't brought this up because, number one, none of my business. Number two, I don't have the relationship with her to be able to confront her on this. But because I think if you're going to criticize somebody, you better have a good relationship. Otherwise, you're just trolling. Like, nobody needs to hear your criticism. But it's not criticism. I would really like to help this lady out because she's selling something and she doesn't know that it's not going to work. So it's her side hustle. And I'll tell you why I know it's not going to work. It's her side hustle. She's been doing it for over a year. Her target market are new business people, Etsy sellers, small businesses, online businesses. And almost everybody in that category is bootstrapping, so no extra money. The product that she's selling, I'm not going to say what it is because I don't want her to find this. The product that she's selling is not necessary for those people to succeed. It might be cute, kind of like a pretty website. But even that you'd have an easier time selling because people think they need a pretty website. Nobody thinks they need this. But it's an extra and it's cute and it's pretty and all of those things. But it's not needed. And if something isn't needed for the success of the business and it's a business related item and you're targeting people who are bootstrapped and don't have a lot of cash, it's not going to work. And she is the most positive, nicest person that she's made it her mission in life to encourage other small businesses and to talk about running a side hustle with little people by her side. And I don't know if her husband's supportive or not. She was talking about how to follow your dreams and to do hard things and to lean into stuff. Even if nobody else believes in you, you are not. The definition of being a leader or visionary is that people aren't going to believe in you. You're one step ahead pushing for this new vision that people can't quite see. But that's what the risk is. And that's what puts you ahead a little bit. And you're able to take advantage of the trends before they happen. If you can be a bit of a visionary, it's not my strong suit. But it's really easy for me to see that this one's not going to work. And it's really sad because what if you believe with all your might and you're working with all of your spare time and you're doing your best And you're using principles and methods and strategies that probably could work given a different audience or a different product. So I can't. It's her only product. Laura said I should tell her. And I don't have the relationship with her to say that. And it's like when somebody's like, I'm going to do this, I'm pushing through, forget the naysayers, this is my thing. I really don't want to be the one to go, like, bless you, but pivot a little. Choose a little bit different audience or a little bit different product. Maybe if I watch a little bit more of her content and consume a bit more of her content, I might, because this is the second time she's doing it after taking a 6-month break, because I imagine it didn't work the first time. But it's also like, who's going to believe me? Like, I'm just me. I could just be a troller. That's why I think if we're going to, even with love in our heart to help people, if we're going to help people, we have to have that foundation of a relationship. Like, I can guide my kids to different behavior because I've proven to them that I love them. They have that foundation with me so that they know I'm not just there to troll them or make their lives miserable, although they might claim that from time to time. It's not true, and they know that. So speaking good things you can say to perfect strangers. Speaking hard truths is something I think you need to have a relationship for. Anyway, it's kind of a good lesson for us all too, because it does take, there's a balance between I'm going to do it, I can do this, I'm moving forward regardless of naysayers, and being that headstrong, stubborn that we need to be in our industries and to take risks. But what do you mean? I've built the most effective having difficult conversations, like relationships. I've built the most effective, like a strong relationship because of a difficult, because of a difficult conversation. And you know what I think it does too, is that it makes us have to speak from the heart when we have a difficult conversation, and we have to, if we don't want to be confrontational and we don't want to be like pushy, then we have to be vulnerable, and being vulnerable with someone is a really good way to start a relationship and bring down our walls in order to have those conversations. I'm sure that we see things all the time. I did see her 6 months ago when she was doing the business idea, and I thought, oh, I really hope this works. Like, you can see, well, this might not work, like, but you hope it works, right? People are working really hard on their side hustles, and she's got a positive attitude, but somehow in between us working really, really hard as entrepreneurs and pushing ourselves regardless of the naysayers, there's also, I think we have to have people that we trust, that we go to and say, okay, am I off here? Like, am I really off? Because that course I bought, I was telling you that I have this business mentor. I did not tell him I bought that course because I was embarrassed about it. That should have been like a huge red flag. If I can't say to my business mentor, okay, I'm planning to do this. Is this dumb? Like, if I can't even say that, then it was obviously a dumb idea. Anyway. Hard relationships are good. Yeah, you're right, Laura. I know. I'll see. I also could be wrong. Maybe it'll go great. I hope it does for her sake. So anyway, I hope you had a good lunch, that you get some lunch. He thought you were a sucker too. Yeah, kind of did. He laughs and he gives me the, oh, I hope it works for you kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, guys, let's close up this live. Thank you for joining me, Laura, and hi, Julia. It's nice to see you. And we'll post this up for other people to see. Thanks for joining me. Take care, guys. Bye.